NXT TakeOver WarGames II. This is the second WarGames show NXT has done, and this show takes place in Los Angeles, California, in the Staples Center one night before Survivor Series, which is tomorrow night. So I actually didn't get to watch the show live. I watched it on the replay right after on the WWE Network, and I avoided all the spoilers. And one thing I was not expecting was we had a bonus match. On my predictions, I actually heard rumors that this match was a part of the show, but I avoided it because I couldn't find it confirmed. So the show starts off with Matt Riddle, bro, in the ring, and he talks about how he was challenged by Fat Pig Kassius Ohno, who's fat as fuck. Ohno gets his fat ass to the ring, and it's a 7-second squash. Thank God. Matt Riddle's a star. Kassius Ohno should be released. He's fat. I'm done talking about Kassius Ohno. I don't know why he's still employed. It's bullshit. He sucks. Then we had the women's match, which I thought would be a little bit later in the show. It's 2 out of 3 falls, and I was not a huge fan of this match. I thought it was a good match. There was a lot of really good spots, but like with me, my big problem was I thought 2 out of 3 falls you have to go a long time. It only went 10.5 minutes, and the show, like when you had a squash match or you only had a 10-minute match, this is weird. An NXT show or 2 matches in, we're already like a half hour into the show. Usually the matches are all really long. So in this match, Shayna Baszler is the champion. She's defending against Kairi Sane. Baszler wins the first fall because of her friends. It starts off with Sane dominating, but then Baszler wins the first fall after her friends get involved, Jessamine Duke and Rita Shafir, and then she dominates the second fall, but then Kairi Sane does this really great DDT on the apron, which is a cool spot. She hits an elbow drop onto Baszler and wins the second fall. Then the third fall, it looks like we're going to get a happy ending. The Duke and Shafir get involved again, but then you have Dakota Kai come out, and then after Dakota Kai, you have Io Shirai. So I think you're going to get a 6-woman tag, maybe at the Royal Rumble TakeOver show, maybe in Phoenix, we get a 6-woman tag. I think that's what they're going to. But Io Shirai does this great moonsault, but then Shayna reverses Kairi and retains the title. So Kairi Sane loses. Fans love Kairi Sane. She's definitely a babyface, but I'm sure it'll ruin her. But so Shayna Baszler retains. Next, we go to Johnny Gargano and Aleister Black, which I knew was going to be a great match, and this match was fantastic. This was war. This was a bloodbath. There was no Candice or no Nikki Cross. I thought one of them could get involved, but none of that. This was an absolute, so fast-paced. It was nuts. The amount of knees, the amount of kicks, there was a couple of really good dives, one of them by Black. Another dive was Johnny Gargano basically does the suicide dive, and as he's going to do the suicide dive, instead of hitting a suicide dive when you go in between the metal ropes, he catches a DDT onto Aleister Black and DDT's Black onto the floor, which was great, and he hits a springboard DDT right after that. He just had more hard shots, so many knees to the faces. He had one great spot where Aleister Black catches Johnny Gargano coming from the top rope. You just had this was just a brutal match to watch. They were just beating the shit out of each other multiple times, where it looks like Gargano's he's gonna turn face again. He's gonna let Black put him out of his misery. They had great storytelling here. I loved how Johnny kept confusing Tommaso. There's a bit too much roll-ups, and they did that the next match too. That's one slight I will say, a little bit too much roll-ups, too many false finishes. I just couldn't believe that they'd end the match on a roll-up. You had the Gargano escape used multiple times in this match. You had a lot of really great parts in this match. The match, the crowd is just going nuts. This is awesome. It's so fast paced. I'm thinking to myself, how are they going to top this? Well, I was surprised, but this match was just fantastic. This was just another great match. Johnny Gargano this year, look at his 5 TakeOver matches. He has the match with Almas in Philadelphia, which was excellent. The first match with Ciampa, which was a classic in New Orleans. The second match with Ciampa, which was in Chicago. And then the last man standing with Ciampa in Brooklyn. And now this great match with Aleister Black. Those are 5 excellent matches. He might have to be up for the Wrestler of the Year. Well, he has to be, in the top 10 for sure. The ending of the match was great. It was Black hits a Black mask, and he's able to keep Gargano up, and he hits another one, just killing him. And Black gets the win. That was a great match. Next, we go to the NXT Championship. It's Tommaso Ciampa defending his NXT Championship against the Velveteen Dream. So, Velveteen Dream, he has this great entrance. What he comes out as is he comes out as Hollywood Hogan to Los Angeles. And they're not mentioning Hulk Hogan on any of WWE's social media platforms, but Velveteen Dream, Patrick, he's been very supportive of Hogan. He comes out dressed as Hollywood Hogan, which was great. I thought it was a great entrance. And then Ciampa comes up with his Taz kind of opening theme. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that. Fans hate Ciampa. Love the Velveteen Dream. And this match, I'll think to myself, there's no way they can top Aleister Black and Johnny Gargano because I don't think the Velveteen Dream's at that level. That's what I thought going into it. And I was wrong. The first half I was right, though. It was boring. I'll be honest, it was boring. And he did the stuff with the Hogan, the hulking up. That was okay. He did the Flair doing the figure four. He did the thing what Bret Hart used to always do, in the ring post. Well, he was playing to the crowd a lot, and I was not a huge fan. I thought the match was really slow the first half, but the second half was fucking insanity, and it was so fucking great. It was unbelievable. There was so much shit that happened. There were so many false finishes. There were so many times we had roll-ups. I thought, oh my god, they're going to finish it. And there were so many times, it was just insanity. You had Ciampa, he thought, this is it, it's over. Velveteen Dream kicks out. You had the crowd's just losing their shit. Everybody wanted the Velveteen Dream to win so bad. I wanted to see Velveteen win in the worst way. Everyone hates Ciampa. It's more about people loving the Velveteen Dream here. He came off like a complete superstar. Everyone knows Ciampa's probably the best heel in the whole company, probably. But everyone really wanted to see the Velveteen Dream take this. It was just one of those things. Oh my god. There's thoughts of him going to the main roster. I'm thinking to myself, he has to stay on there to get that big moment, win the title. People want that really bad. It was just so much fun to watch. You had all these great, Ciampa hitting his finisher, Velveteen kicks out. The best part was Ciampa exposes the concrete, and the Velveteen Dream comes out, and Ciampa hits Mauro Ranallo in the face with something. It was just this crazy ending. Then the Velveteen Dream hits Fireman's carry on the concrete, hits the elbow drop, it's over, and then Ciampa kicks out and he goes to hit it on the apron, but he misses and ends with a vicious sick DDT in between the rings. And one thing you do notice in NXT, whenever they do a WarGames, even though this match ended with the DDT onto the metal plate, which was nasty, I think the wrestlers are all told stick in one ring except WarGames. Everyone else, all the regular matches stick in one ring. That's clear. The first two matches had the ring closer to the stage. Second one was the ring closer to the announce tables. But this match was fantastic. Ciampa retains, great heel. Just a fantastic match. Velveteen Dream's going to be a star. This was just another great classic match. So he had two classic matches back to back. And now, WarGames is next. Here we go. You have Pete Dunne, Ricochet, and the War Raiders against the team of the Undisputed Era. This is going to be excellent. I like how the WarGames had its own entrance. Every other chamber structure has its entrance. They usually do that kind of that creepy theme. This one's more. They have a city emergency siren. Kind of remember Perry Saturn's theme, how it started, and then it's all red. It looks really cool. So during the old rules, even though they're keeping that stupid cage gimmick, but it's the old rules. It's two guys, Undisputed Era is the heel, so they start. That's how they're doing it. Thank God. That's how it should be. So following the traditional rules, they started off with two great wrestlers. I figured they'd start off with the really good workers. They start off with Adam Cole and Ricochet. I mean, great. They can repeat their match. And Adam Cole gets the better of them. And then he's joined by Kyle O'Reilly, and they beat down Ricochet. Ricochet gets some on offense at the end. The one thing they do is they use the two rings. They go from one ring to another a lot. They do that a lot in this match. And then I liked how they set up some tension with the faces. They had Pete Dunne try to go in, but then Hanson stops him. And Hanson, I thought, was a star of the match. He did some awesome stuff. He does these crazy stinger splashes, 20 in a row. And then after that, they had Roderick Strong come in. After Roderick Strong, again, the Undisputed Era got the upper advantage. And then after him, I think Hanson of the War Raiders comes in. And then they did a thing with Pete Dunne when he's in the cage. So Bobby Fish comes in. When Bobby Fish is coming in, Pete Dunne still has to come in and Bobby Fish beats up Pete Dunne, and like he locks him in the cage. And Undisputed Era get the chair, so first weapons, and they beat him down with chairs, lots of chair shots. They're beating him down, and then Pete Dunne comes, he throws all the weapons in the match, and that's when the match really starts. And you have a lot of good spots. You have a lot of weapons there. You have chairs, you have trash cans, and you have candlesticks, and you have 2 tables. It wasn't crazy. It wasn't as good as last year. I thought last year was a much better match. It was still a great match. You had some big spots. You had, again, I thought Hanson was the best part of the match. He did this crazy splash onto Kyle O'Reilly through a table, which like it must have killed Kyle O'Reilly. He does just a whole bunch of awesome things here. Lots of crazy and impressive stuff for a big man. A lot of stuff with the War Raiders catching people. I think Hanson it was Rowe. He took a spear from I think it was O'Reilly through a table like in between the 2 rings. It looked like it painful because of the ring posts were there. You had numerous like kicks, numerous super kicks. One thing you did see a lot of in this match was like you saw Ricochet do something. You knew he was going to do something crazy. And the big spot was the Tower of Doom. Last year was the superplex from the top of the cage onto everyone. This year was like the Tower of Doom with Adam Cole. So it was all the wrestlers in the ring except Ricochet, who was on the top. Adam Cole and Ricochet were on the top. That's how it all set up. And then Adam Cole takes the suplex. Everyone else is like a giant power bomb, and that's the big spot. And then Ricochet does a giant dive off the top of the cage, and that was another crazy spot. And they had back and forth. He had the big showdown with the 2 of them in between the ropes, which was a great scene. Eventually, Adam Cole, Pete Dunne, and Ricochet, everyone's down. They all beat each other up, and then Pete Dunne and Ricochet get the double pinfall on Adam Cole. So they both pin Adam Cole. Pete Dunne and Ricochet are your winners, and the War Raiders, all of them, the baby faces win. Pete Dunne and Ricochet get the fall, and they both celebrate on the top of the cage. And then celebrate the War Raiders. The War Raiders are still down from the beating everyone took, so everyone else is down. But I did something with Pete Dunne and Ricochet. I don't know if that's where they're going next, or maybe a triple threat with Adam Cole, but that looks like the direction. So this was a great match. Last year was better. I enjoyed last year a lot more. I'll admit, last year was way crazier. A lot more fun watching last year. And there was blood last year. There was no blood. We needed some blood here. This was still a great match. However, I would say I think it's still my 3rd favorite match. I thought the NXT title was probably the best. The 2nd best was Gargano and Black probably, and the 3rd might be WarGames. But WarGames was still a great, great match. This is another great NXT TakeOver. It's impossible. I don't even want to rate them. I'm just saying it's just another. It's an amazing show. It's like they can't have a bad show anymore. The last couple years, it's gone to a different level. It's like, you know what? I can't even rate these shows anymore. It's impossible to rank them. Like, where am I gonna rank them? Like, this is better than all the other ones. This was just another amazing show, and everyone has to watch it. And Survivor Series does not have a chance. Obviously, this show is just gonna blow Survivor Series out of the water, like every NXT Takeover does to every WWE pay-per-view.